Thank you, Father, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Well, Ricky, the seminary, he's been here this week, and he's going back tomorrow to the seminary of the Radio Guadalupe, with the fraternity of St. Peter. And so you can say hi to him after Mass, and you can help him with something. It will be very appreciated. Well, the three times that Jesus tells his disciples, Pax Vobis, peace be with you, he says to his disciples. Peace being the opposite of the lack of faith. So Thomas is not present the first time he appears, the morning of the resurrection. But the other disciples tell him, we saw the Lord. He says, I will not believe. I would not even believe my own senses, he says. So the greatest misfortune that can come down to our world is basically the lack of faith. The ruin of our society, of our families, is not going to come through war or hunger or, illness or death. It's going to come through the lack of faith. See? That is very important. And so the first consequence of lack of faith is lack of peace. If I don't have peace, I cannot help anyone. I do not love anyone. If I don't believe in God, I don't have peace. That is why St. John, in the epistle today, he says, who is the one who overcomes the world? But he who believes. So, can you imagine all the evils that surround someone who does not believe? He lives under the pressure from everywhere of evil. See? So whoever does not believe is in such a state of poverty and lack of peace that he can believe anything. See? Now, what does peace come from? According to St. Thomas Aquinas, peace is the consequence of order. And order exists when there is submission to God. Only and only then. So you can see people happy all the time, having fun, going to parties and all of these things. And they seem to be happy, but if you just scratch a little bit, there is nothing there. So that's why this culture has come up with such beautiful cities as Las Vegas for people who cannot deal with the lack of peace. So, peace is the consequence of order, and order is the consequence of submission to God. So there is order when everything is in its own place. When God obeys, when men obey God. See? So it is not necessary that I should be esteemed or taken into consideration. It is not even necessary that I should live. But if I live, it is necessary that I should live for God. The domain of God over me is universal. It embraces all times and all places. He always preserves me for himself. I must always live for him. He is present in every place, and wherever I am from Him and belong to Him. And so I must, in consequence, live for Him. His power extends to everything that I have, to everything that I do, to everything that I have. To Him I shall have to give an account of even a useless word. So we have the tendency to forget that. See, that is why the first fruit of the passion and death of our Lord is peace. That's the first thing He gives to His disciples. Pax vobis, He tells them. See, now, the most fundamental thing that we need to understand is that whatever good we can do comes from God. By ourselves we cannot do anything. And the question is, now, what is it that I need to do so that God may be able to do everything that is good through me? The first condition is that I might be able to reflect God. That God might be reflected in me. And so that means that I have to be at peace. See, if you want the image of the light of the sun to be reflected on the water of a lake, the first thing we need is that the water to be still. When there is agitation of movement, we cannot see the image of the sun reflected on the water. And that's how we are with regards to our relationship with God. See, so all we can do is to reflect the only good that we possess, and that is God. So the more at peace that we are, the better equipped that we are to help someone, to love someone, to contribute to the well-being of this world. See, so with this we understand that God is a God of peace. He does not speak, He does not work in any other environment, but when the environment is at peace. See, Saint Seraphim of Serov says, acquire inner peace, and a multitude is going to find salvation at your side. See, and he spent 18 years as a monk, 16 years as a hermit, and then the last 16 years secluded in a cave. And only after 48 years in solitude was he able to help people and to become an example for them. So, in most of the cases, I don't know if you have noticed it, but in most of the cases, our only fight should be to persevere peace, to preserve peace within ourselves. Because in every parish, we can say that we have bad people or evil people. And that is not true. We simply have people who have no peace. So, now, the most popular strategy that the devil uses against our souls is to disturb our inner peace. Because the devil knows that God inhabits a soul that is at peace, and that at peace God does a lot of good things in the soul of the person. So, now, if we ask ourselves, what do we need to do? or what are the conditions for us to be at peace, to preserve peace? The first condition is that we must have a good will. So, and a good will means simply to have this permanent disposition to love God all the time, to prefer His will, and not to deny Him anything. If you do that, you have a good will. So as long as we don't adopt this determination, our main war is going to be, to stay at peace, to defend ourselves against the temptations of the evil one. So that means that the best way for you to lose peace is to simply come up with a plan of your life and do with it whatever you do. So, Jesus, that is what Jesus in the Gospel says. Have you seen the lilies in the fields? They don't sow, they don't reap, and yet God takes care of them. So, one day, God appears to St. Catherine of Siena, and He says to her, "Why don't you trust in me, your Creator? See, why don't you find support in me? Am I not faithful and loyal to you?" See? So the first condition for us to persevere in peace is to have a good will. The second condition is to trust in God's providence. See? Because one of our temptations is to plan our lives, to calculate everything, to prevent everything, and to solve all our problems with our own means, without counting on God for anything. See? And the last thing is that we should not be afraid of suffering. When was the last time that God left you without the means for your survival? So if He allows suffering, our only strength can be found in believing that God does not allow useless suffering, ever. So, whatever it might be. For example, who would have thought of having chosen the cross as a means of redemption? So, it is a very fortunate thing for us to realize that it is God's wisdom and power that controls everything in life. Everything that we have, everything that happens to us. See? And we forget that, especially women. See? Women have the tendency to believe that they have the ability to control everything. The past, the present, the soul of their husband, and their children. See? So, as you can see, when Jesus says, "Peace be with you," Pax Vobis, and He says it 3 times. 3 times. Instead of, appearing and then saying, "Why do you leave? What happened to you?" He says, "Pax Vobis," peace be with you. Meaning that is basically what we need the most. That is our greatest value, to preserve peace, to be at peace all the time. So whatever you cannot do at peace, don't do it. Why so much worry about life? See? So every day in prayer, let us keep asking the Lord to help us maintain that inner peace that we all need, so that He may be able to accomplish so many good things in this world. By worrying, we don't accomplish much. See? We live in a world that has been created by God, it's been created for Him, and is governed by Him. The only thing we need to do is to be always at His disposition, at peace. See? So, this week, it would be a great thing for us if we can find out how is it that the devil comes and attempts to disturb our souls. What does he do? If we know that, then that's a very good thing. So we need to know how the devil disturbs our peace. And secondly, let us not forget of this constant presence of God everywhere, that He controls everything, that in His hands all the events are present, and if He allows, something that we might find difficult, He knows that we need it, and in the measure that we need it. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.